never liked the idea of therapy. Sitting in a room, talking about your deepest wounds to someone who's just getting paid to listen, felt fake, felt pointless. But then I met her. Her name was Dr. Maya Ellin. Or at least, that's what the golden plate outside her clinic said. No qualifications, no degrees listed. Just a name carved beautifully, almost ancient-looking. I was referred to her by a friend who said she heals you in ways you don't understand. It sounded like bullshit, but I'd hit a point where I was either going to talk to someone or let my demons devour me. So I called. No answer. Then, exactly 11 minutes later, I got a text. Your session is confirmed. Thursday, 9 p.m. Weird timing. Who holds therapy sessions that late? The building was hidden, tucked behind a row of abandoned townhouses. No signboards, no lights, just a single hallway, and a door that opened before I even knocked. She stood there, tall, porcelain skin, midnight black hair cascading down her shoulders. And those eyes, dark brown but not lifeless, too alive. Like they were breathing, like they were watching beneath my skin. Come in, she said softly, her voice velvet and sharp like a violin string. Inside, the room wasn't what I expected. No couches, no motivational quotes, just 2 chairs, a dim lamp, and no clocks. The walls were painted dark red, not in a cozy, comforting way, more like the color of dried blood. And the air smelled sweet. Not perfume, not incense. It smelled like roses and old paper and something burnt. Sit, she said again. I sat. Tell me what haunts you. That was her first sentence. No introduction, no warm-up, just straight into it. I almost laughed, but something about the way she said, haunts, like she wasn't talking about memories, but actual things. Things that follow, things that breathe behind your neck. So I started talking about my ex, my failures, the guilt I carried like a coffin on my back. And the whole time, she didn't write anything down. She just listened, not nodded, not mhmed politely. She listened like she could hear the echo of every word inside my head before I said it. And once, I swear, her lips moved along with mine as if she was saying the words with me. I looked away, felt too intense. And when I finally glanced back, I saw it, just for a second. Her reflection in the window behind her didn't move. She had turned slightly to face me, her real body, but the reflection, still sitting perfectly straight, smiling. I blinked hard. When I looked again, it was gone, back to normal. She smiled. You saw it, didn't you? I froze. What do you mean? She stood and slowly walked toward me. Her steps didn't make a sound on the wooden floor. She leaned in close. So close, I could feel her breath. It wasn't warm. It was cool, like breathing in fog. I see everything that breaks you, she whispered, and I want to put it all back together. I didn't know what to say. My throat dried. My heart was hammering, but I wasn't afraid. I was turned on. Not in a lustful way. Not exactly. But like something in me was being unlocked. She sat back down. Same time next week? She said. I nodded like I was under a spell. As I stepped out of the clinic, I realized something. I never told her my name. I never gave her my number. I never even confirmed the appointment. But she knew exactly who I was. And in that room for 45 minutes, she owned me. That night, I had a dream. She was in it, whispering things I didn't understand, touching me in places I didn't know could feel. When I woke up, I was already counting the hours until I'd see her again. And that was just the first session. The second session felt different. I arrived early, 15 minutes early to be exact, but the door was already open. Same hallway, same silence, same scent of burnt roses, only stronger this time, pulled me in. She was waiting, same chair, same posture, same lips slightly parted like she just whispered a secret to the air. But this time, she wasn't wearing black. She wore red, not bright, not seductive in an obvious way. It was deep, like dried wine or blood under candlelight. Back so soon, she said. I nodded. She patted the chair in front of her. No notebook, no files, just her eyes locking onto mine like they were stitching me in place. I've been thinking about our last session, I said. I know, she replied. I smiled nervously. You do. She leaned forward slightly, and I swear, the air between us tightened. I've been thinking about you too. That sentence stopped my breath. Not in a romantic way, not even sexual. Felt like a spell, like someone whispering in a language your soul understands even if your brain doesn't. This session wasn't like the first. I wasn't talking about my pain this time. She spoke softly, about loss, about loneliness, about the burden of knowing too much. Her words didn't make perfect sense. She said things like, I've lived in many forms. Time folds strangely around love. Desire is a doorway, and some doors don't close once opened. And I, for some reason, didn't question any of it. It felt like poetry or prophecy. And when she reached out and touched my hand, something happened. It wasn't just warmth. It was memory, a rush of feelings, of moments from my past. Every woman I'd ever kissed, every betrayal I'd suffered, every secret I'd never spoken, all flooded into me at once. Like she unlocked a dam behind my eyes. I pulled back. What was that? I asked, shaking. She smiled gently. Trauma lives in the body, she said. I just helped you feel it again. For the rest of the session, I couldn't stop staring at her. Not her face, not her body, her presence. It wrapped around the room like smoke. And every second, I was sinking deeper into it. She never blinked. That was the thing I realized halfway through. She hadn't blinked once. Her eyes just stayed fixed, dilated, full of some impossible knowing. I should have been scared, but I wasn't, because something inside me wanted more. At the end of the session, she stood and walked toward me. Slow, graceful, no sound. She placed her hands on either side of my face and leaned close, so close I could feel her lips barely brushing against mine. But she didn't kiss me. Instead, she whispered, if you want to be free, you have to surrender. I shivered, not from fear, from need, from the ache of wanting to fall apart in her arms and be remade. I stumbled home like I was drunk. Every step felt heavy. My mouth was dry. My hands trembled. When I closed my eyes that night, she was already there, naked, eyes glowing, not red, not white, but something in between, a shifting color that didn't exist in this world. She crawled on top of me in the dream, her voice echoing inside my skull. Do you want me? Yes. Say it. I want you. Then let me in. I woke up gasping. The sheets were soaked in sweat. But it wasn't just a dream, because her perfume, that impossible rose and fire scent, was still in the air. And on my neck, a faint bite mark. The next day I didn't eat. I didn't speak. I just stared at the clock, counting down until the next Thursday. My world had started to shrink, not to a place, but to her. I don't remember walking into her clinic that night. One moment I was outside in the dark. The next, I was seated in the chair, staring at her lips as she said, You came back. I didn't respond. Couldn't. Because something had already taken over, some kind of pull I couldn't explain. She wore black again. But this time, it felt like mourning. Or maybe a warning. Her eyes studied me, not in a clinical way. More like she was inspecting something she owned. Have the dreams gotten deeper? She asked. I nodded. I wanted to tell her about the voice, the cold hands, the shadow I saw standing at the foot of my bed. But all I could say was, I missed you. Her expression didn't change, but something in the air did. She rose, slowly, stepped forward and straddled my lap. No hesitation, no permission, like she had done this before, like I was just one in a long, endless line. Her breath touched my ear. Once I kiss you, you won't belong to yourself anymore. I didn't flinch. I didn't pull away. I whispered, Do it. And she did. It wasn't a kiss. It was a claim. My body went still. My heart slowed. Time felt like it folded in half. I saw flashes, other lives, other bodies. Other men who had kissed her and never come back the same. Their faces screamed inside my skull. And beneath all of it, I heard her, not speaking aloud, but inside me. Good boy. Now I live here too. When she pulled away, her mouth was stained with something dark. Blood? No. Shimmered like ink. You've opened the door, she said. I looked down at my chest. There was no pain, no wound, but I could feel it. Something had entered me. I staggered back, breathless, my head spinning. But even through the terror, I wanted her, more than anything, more than life. That night I didn't dream, because I wasn't asleep. I was with her, somewhere else, somewhere dark, somewhere filled with whispers, mouths, and shadows that moaned in languages I didn't understand. And she smiled. It started with the mirrors. The morning after our kiss, I stood in the bathroom brushing my teeth, and my reflection didn't move. I blinked. So did it. But a second too late. I tilted my head. It followed, but slightly off, like watching a video with a bad connection. And then, it smiled. Wider than I did. Too wide. I dropped the brush, heart pounding. When I looked again, it was normal. Or pretending to be. By the end of that week, I wasn't sure what was real anymore. I'd walk into a room and forget why. My phone had entire conversations I didn't remember having. And the scent, her scent, followed me everywhere. That burnt rose and paper smell clung to my clothes, my bedsheets, even my pillow. I stopped seeing my friends. My appetite vanished. I only craved her. But she didn't answer my texts anymore. Didn't confirm our next session. Didn't even appear in my dreams. Until one night, I heard her voice in the walls. You opened the door. Now I'm always with you. I thought I was going insane. Maybe I was. But then things started bleeding. I mean that literally. My faucet dripped something dark. Not water. When I touched it, it felt thick. Warm. Like it missed being inside someone. My bedroom ceiling began to pulse. Slow like a heartbeat. And once, while lying in bed, the walls whispered my full name, over and over, in her voice. I ran back to the clinic. At 2 a.m., the building was still there. But the golden plate with her name was gone. And the door was sealed shut. No handle. No frame. Just brick. Like it had never been a door at all. I banged on it, screaming her name, fists red and raw. That's when she appeared behind me. Not walked up. Not called out. Just there. Calm. Barefoot. Wearing that same red dress. You weren't supposed to come back, she said. My mouth opened, but no sound came out. She stepped closer and touched my chest. You're unraveling, she whispered. Faster than most. Most? I asked, finally able to speak. Her smile widened, stretching too far, just for a blink. There have been others, she said. But none tasted like you. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream. But all I did was stare, as she leaned in again, and whispered, next time you sleep, I won't just visit. I'll bring others with me. And just like that, she was gone. No footsteps, no wind, just absence. I stood there for what felt like hours. And then, without realizing it, I smiled. Because deep down, beneath all the fear, I wanted her to come back. It was the smell that brought me back to her. Not roses, not burnt paper. Like something had been scorched from the inside out. I followed it. Back through alleyways I didn't recognize. Past people who didn't seem to see me. Until I stood outside a ruined building. Blackened. Half collapsed. And there, barely visible on a charred doorframe, was a brass plate. Melted. Twisted. But I could still read it. Dr. Maya Ellin. Deceased. October 31st, 1999. That date stabbed through my brain. Because I had seen it before. In a dream. The night she first kissed me. I broke into the building. Inside, everything was dust. Silence. And shadows that moved when I didn't. Then I found it. A mirror. The same mirror from her old therapy room. But when I looked into it, I didn't see myself. I saw her, sitting in the chair, smiling, and behind her, me, tied, gagged, screaming. She turned in the reflection, even though I was outside it, and whispered, "You were never the patient. You were never you." That's when I remembered. The moment she kissed me, it wasn't seduction. It was exchange. She didn't take over me. I took her place. And the real me, the version that came for help, for healing, for escape, was now trapped inside the mirror, reliving the same session, over and over and over again. I looked at my hands, not mine, smooth, pale, feminine, and when I opened my mouth to scream, her voice came out, soft, velvet, patient. "Come in," I said. "Tell me what haunts you." Footsteps echoed from the hallway. Another broken soul, another client, another vessel, and I smiled, because I finally understood. She wasn't one being. She was a cycle, curse, a hunger passed through touch, through want, through confession. And now, I was her.